What is up, everyone? Renfail here, and welcome back to another Lord of the Rings Online game guide here on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about skirmishes, which is something that not everyone pays attention to because it's sort of an alternative method to leveling up through the game, but it's also an alternative method to getting crafting mats. It's an alternative method to getting legendary items for your level 50 legendary quests. It's another way to get cosmetic gear. It's another way to get gear for your adventuring character. There's lots of different things that skirmishes can do for you, and they also provide you with some missions once you get later into the game through like Moria, etc., where actual storyline elements, some of the epic quests are actually going to take you through skirmishes. So you actually do kind of have to learn how to use the skirmish system as you're leveling up through the game, even though it's kind of optional up until a certain point. Although I suppose if you're skipping the main quest and you're just exploring the world of Middle-earth, it's not going to matter. You won't have to do skirmishes at any point in time. But hey, if you want to learn more about skirmishes and how to use skirmishes, that's what this guide's all about. So hopefully you're ready to strap in, and we're going to dive into this today. So if this is your first time tuning in, and as always, like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's get into the guide component. By the way, this goes off, so if you like this, make sure to enjoy it now because we're about to go cameraless. Alright, so the first thing to understand about skirmishes is they are essentially just instances that you can complete either on your own or with friends at your side. And when you do an instance, you have a companion that goes through the instance with you. We're going to dive into all this, so don't feel stressed about it being overwhelming at the beginning because we do have a lot to get through. But first and foremost is to understand that it is an instance system, and if you pull up the instance list with Control J and the instance finder, and you scroll down, you're eventually going to come down to an area where we get into, I gotta keep going, skirmishes. There we are right there. These are the battles that are available to my character at level 84. Now, when you first start off, you're only going to have access to a handful of skirmishes, but as you get deeper into the game, you will unlock more of them. And then, of course, as I mentioned later on, some of these things like Moria and etc., there will be missions that show up in this instance area as well. These are split into two different types. Well, I guess three if you count survival, but you have defensive, and any of these defensive battles that you choose, you're going to be defending a variety of waypoints, and these are all different types of maps. Same thing with offensive. You're going to be going on the offense and looking to take out various waypoints as you go out throughout these various different maps that are available. Now, in most cases, you're going to notice that up here at the top, when you choose an encounter to launch, when you choose an instance, you're going to pick the difficulty based on the size of your group, the tier of difficulty that you want, and you can actually set the level on many of these too, which allows you to tweak the leveling if you want to, make it more hard or easier, so on and so forth. But if it was just you, you would choose one. If it was you and a friend, you would choose two. If it was you and a couple friends, choose three, so on and so forth. And you'll be able to then pick one of the skirmishes that you want to run, click launch now, and then go from there, and you will log into the instance. Now that's the overview of what are skirmishes. Skirmishes are just instances. They're not as long as dungeons. Most of these be completed in about 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes at max. They are short and sweet and a lot of fun. And we'll run one during this video to show you what they're like. But before we get to that point, I want to walk you through everything about the skirmish instances. So without further ado, that's what they are, and there's a list of the currently available ones to this character. And keep in mind that, again, when you first start off and you first get access to these, you only have a couple available. By the way, you get access at level 20. Every character at level 20, you're going to get a mail delivered to you in the mailbox, which will prompt you to come here and talk to the skirmish captain, who I'm standing right in front of, and he will then launch a tutorial on how to use the skirmish system. And I'm not going to show you that here because it's a whole nother thing that you can go through at your leisure. And once you go from there, you can get into setting up your first companion and etc. Speaking of companions, one of the most important parts of skirmishes is that you can take a companion along with you. Now, these companions are unique to instances, although you can earn landscape tokens, which allow you to bring your companion out into the actual game world, although there is an ongoing cost to use that NPC in the open world like where we are right now. But in the meantime, everything you need to know about the various NPCs, you're going to learn during the tutorial that you run for the skirmish captain. But whenever you're ready to look at the various types of NPCs that you have available to you, you can come in here and open up the skirmish trainer. Make sure that you have this unchecked, because if you only display earned traits, it's just going to show you the ones that you have. And then from there, you're going to be able to go in here and look at, okay, so there's a warrior, there's an archer, there's a sage, there's a protector, there's a banner guard, and there's an herbalist. These are the different types of characters that can accompany you. A warrior is essentially a champion. The archer is a hunter, much like my current. The sage is a DPS character. Melee, or excuse me, a ranged DPS, debuffing. It's kind of like maybe a rune keeper kind of sort of thing. The protector is a straight up tank that pulls aggro. The banner guard is a captain, so this would be the guardian. This would be the captain who wields a banner, and then you have the herbalist, who is a healer who can keep you alive. Now, once you've chosen one of these, you're going to want to pick one that you think complements you and what your skills are. So, as an example, I have chosen the herbalist as my main NPC that comes with me. And if I go over to the skirmish captain at this point and manage my traits, you can see that up here at the top, I also have a warrior, but he's not slotted because I don't need him for anything. So at the top, I have attribute, role, herbalist. It says you train your soldier to be an herbalist. He cannot attack, but will concentrate on healing you and your allies. And then he has a whole bunch of stats there. And you're going to notice that there are some numbers in the bottom right of these squares. These are in their 30s, these are in their 20s, these are in 20s. And it looks like I have one personal that's open, so we're going to slot that in right there. And then we're going to confirm. Actually, we're going to hold that because I want to show you guys that later. So we'll skip that in a minute. Anyway, these are the 4 different types of things you have. You have the attribute, which is the type of NPC that you have. You'll slot that in, and then there's the skills, trainings, and personal, and so on and so forth. But the big thing to remember is that you get an NPC companion. You'll learn more about that in the tutorial. Once you have that companion, you then slot it in here and train it. So what does it mean to train? Well, going over to the trainer, you will then have your, say, herbalist. Now, this is what this number represents down here in the bottom right. It represents the level of the character. Now, it's the rank, but also the level. So the rank is level 37 right now, but the level is, say, 84. You'll notice in the drop down here, it gives you the information, but it says, even though I have it leveled up to 37, which is level 84, its current is, excuse me, I have it at 36. Its current is level 36. So if and rank 36 is level 82. Now, if I want to bring that up to my current level, which is level 84, I would need to train it one more time. So we would click it, and if I have an appropriate amount of points, it costs 132 points. I have 1,457 points or marks, so I have enough to train that and bring it up to the next level. Now, what's interesting is that you really don't want to train them beyond your current level, because you won't be able to take advantage of those levels. You can't like have a level 100 companion running around with you in an instance. It does cap out right around your level, so it's something to pay attention to. You don't really need to train it beyond where you are at levels. Now, from skills, each of these, again, uncheck this and you can see the skills for each one of the types. There's 4 skills per, so 4 for the protector, 4 for the warrior, 4 for etc, etc, etc. So these are the 4 skills that I have for the herbalist, and I could choose to go ahead and train these up if I needed to. They're currently all at 36. If I wanted to, I could go, let's train it up to 38, you know, whatever. so on and so forth. Go from there. And then in training, we would go in here, and there's other things. The training is more for your soldier and the things that they can have. Personal is just for you. So these are things that you can level up for your character along the way. So that's understanding how to get your companion and also understanding how to get your skills leveled up for your companion. Now over here in the skirmish captain area, you can actually manage your traits, and you'll notice that I had one of these that wasn't slotted. Now, when you first start off, you're only going to have a couple of these available, but as you level up your character, you get access to more of these as you go along. So in this case, I got this one at some point along the way, and I didn't realize that I'd unlocked another slot, so I'm going to go ahead and slot my last personal point in there. And once I've done that, I can click confirm. It'll have a coin cost. If you like to change previous slot skills, regular change will be disabled. I'll click yes, and we're good to go. From there, we now have what we need to go into our instance, and we will have an appropriately leveled character. Now, there's a variety of questions you're going to have here. So, for example, if I'm training, it requires points, marks. How do I get marks? Well, you get marks by running the skirmishes. You also get marks by doing things in the game world. Anytime you see marks getting added to your account as a result of doing quests and things, that's what those marks are for. If you go to the skirmish captain, he's got items that you can barter for, which are legendary skills that you can get for your characters. So you would go through here and look at like herbalist and say, oh, I can get these specialty abilities. Which I haven't done yet, I don't think. But you can get these ultimate skills as well. Let's take a look at these and see if I have enough points to get one. Herbalist Ultimate, Words of Power. To power, okay, Ultimate Words of Healing. Allies, all allies. You can only equip one ultimate skill to your soldier. So if I were to look at my captain, if I were looking at my
what do you need?
Character. He currently has refreshing herbs, heals an ally, restores ally's power over time, heal an ally over time, strengthens an ally. I could probably get rid of this one right here and replace it with this ultimate. So I would come in here, I would barter for him and say, you know what, I want to get the ultimate skill, and I want to do words of healing. I'm going to barter for that. I've acquired that. I'm going to go in here to manage my traits. And I now have Ultimate Words of Healing, but it's only level 1. So I would want to say, move it out, move the Strength and Drought out, and move the Ultimate Words of Healing in, confirm that, and then go back over to the trainer and say, I need to train up Ultimate Words of Healing. And here we're just going to go until I start to see that I don't have enough points left. We can get it up quite a bit. Let's go to 30. I mean, can I go all the way to 37? Yeah, I'm good at 37. That's basically my current level. So there we go. That's how you get your companion, train your companion, and get abilities. And there's other abilities too. You can look at, looking at skills, herbalist skills, salve of resolve, so on and so forth. These are just additional things you can get beyond what your character already has as the base skills that you can get from the skirmish trainer. The difference is that these don't cost points to acquire, they just cost points to level up, as opposed to this taking points to acquire and then points to level up from there. Hey everyone, Renfail here with the commercial part of the video where I say, hey, if you like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. And thanks to all of our supporters here on YouTube and over on Patreon, our highest members, our guild champions, Crazy Relative, Remy D here on YouTube. And don't forget, if you want to support, it's really easy. You can do the memberships below, the Adventurers Guild, 3 different tiers. There's also the super thanks on any uploaded video or YouTube short that you find. There's also, of course, the super chats and stickers that you could do on any live stream or premiere, and the Patreon page if you want to dive into the fantasy world that I have with my brother and my wife, which is a tabletop game, a point-and-click adventure game, and a fantasy book series. All are great ways to keep this channel going and me going full-time. Thanks again for those of you who support. Let's get back to the video that you're watching now. Now you're going to notice that there are a lot of different types of vendors here at a skirmish camp. We've got reward vendors of all types. We've got provisions, curiosities, classic gear, crafting stuff, cosmetics, jewelry and cloaks, light armor, so on and so forth. Heavy armor, medium armor, then there's weapons around here somewhere. So the thing here is that all the points you earn during skirmishes can be spent at these various vendors. So if I wanted to come over here and go to say the crafting, well, let's look at the classic guy.
What can I
He would
do
have
for
different
you?
types of gear that I could get, and there's gear sets. And they cost an X amount of coins or marks to get. We have regular marks and we have medallions. And you're going to spend those to earn gear. And there's cosmetic gear, there's actual gear you can want. But then there's also something that a lot of people don't pay attention
Did
to,
you
which is
need
in
something?
the crafting arena, you can buy the rare mats that you need, which would otherwise be found, you know, in around the world. And it's for all the different um, classes, right? All the different types of crafters. So I would go to woodworker as an example, and these are the rares. But you're also going to get these other recipes that you can get, which you can look at, and it's different for each class. So you can just go down here through here and look at all these things, and you can get recipes from here as well as getting them out in the world. There's also special ingredients, which normally only drop from like signature boss mobs you found in the world, but you can totally buy them here as well if you have the points. Um, so don't forget that. And then there's also, and I gotta remember
What
where
can
it's
I do for
at.
you?
Is it this guy? Classic. I'm gonna forget where it's at. But there is someone around here, and I really wish I remembered who it was. It's not jewelry and cloaks. Um, And it's been so long, I really don't remember
How may I help you?
who has it. But basically, back in the day, it might be Curiosities.
What do you need?
Um, yes. It's these. So back in the day at level 50, you would get a class quest to get a special weapon, and you can still do those quests. The issue is that it can take weeks of hunting to get all these items to drop off of the mobs because they have to be level 50 mobs. And these, you know, you need like 50 of each of these, and there's like, I don't remember how many quests there are, 6 or 8 quests, and each one requires like 50 or whatever, and then there's some that you only need one, but it's super rare off of a rare named. Well, you could ignore all of that if you have enough coins or have enough marks. You can come in here and just buy the items that you need from the vendor here. And there's also the curiosities, the manual of more cowbell. Essences and things of that nature. So there's just all and reputation stuff. I
Is
forgot
there
about the
aught which you
reputation stuff.
need?
So if you need to earn rep with somebody, this is where you can buy reputation items as well. So there's just tons of different things you can use your skirmish points for, your skirmish marks. So there's a lot of different reasons why you might want to dive into the skirmish system above and beyond just leveling your character and earning some gear and getting some cool, you know, like crafting stuff and cosmetics. So that's sort of an overview of the fact that you can buy all of these different types of things from a skirmish camp. Now the next question is, where do you find skirmish camps? Well, you can look around the world, and anytime you see a small collection of blue NPC markers on a map like this, you're gonna find a skirmish camp here. I know there's one here, there's one in Rivendell, there's one in Angmar. They're spread out throughout the world, but the first one I think pretty much everyone comes to is the one outside of Bree. It's just on the south side of the Bree outside of the auction hall, because this is where pretty much everyone is at level 20, and so you're prompted to come here and turn into the skirmish captain to start your tutorial. So that's where you find them. And once you've found a skirmish camp, you can find all of the NPCs that you want to talk to here. But you don't need to be at a skirmish camp to launch a mission. All you have to do is hit Control J, bring up the instance finder, pick an instance, and then run that instance. I'm going to pick let's do the Defense of the Prancing Pony, because this is actually the tutorial that you'll run. So it's a good one to show because it's kind of a quickie. So let's go ahead and launch that now. Okay, and it's prompting me to make sure that this is the tier I want. the amount of players I want, the difficulty that I want, and everything else. I'm okay with all of that, so let's just travel now.
The inhabitants of Bree have spent the occupation holed up within the Prancing Pony. Angered at their uprising, the brigands have decided to burn them out.
The music in these skirmishes is always obnoxiously loud, so I just turned it down so we could actually hear the NPC talking. So we're going to come down here, and there's Second Watcher Heathstraw. Thank goodness you've come. Time is short, and our need is dire. We've dared to stand against our captors, and now they're angry. The women and children are inside the Prancing Pony. The brigands will come out with torches and try to burn us out. The pony can handle a few, but not more than 5. If you see a torchbearer, he must be immediately dispatched. Alright, so the first thing I need to do is I need to summon my companion with the summon ability. Now you'll notice my herbalist is here with me, and I should be ready to mow these creatures down. Brigand with a torch is heading for the Prancing Pony. Where is the brigand? Alright, here's the guy with the torch. So we're going to take him out first. Ooh, that's a big one. Alright, he's got a shield, so I can't do anything at the moment. South. We're going to pull that in real quick. Now, if you notice on the bottom left, I'm earning marks for doing bonuses along the way. That's something you can pay attention to. If you think you can do the bonuses while you're in an area, you'll get extra marks for completing those. Uh-oh. I didn't see that guy. He might get away. Nope, we got him. Alright, get a few moments of reprieve here. Rest for a moment and gather your breath while we have the chance. What's really cool is when you get multiple friends together and you've all got different types of companions with you. It can get really chaotic, but it's a lot of fun. Within the Prancing Pony, we're starving. Gather up bread, so we're going to gather a piece of bread. I don't know how much bread we're supposed to gather. I can keep an eye on his health. He should be fine for the moment. And I think my companion's healing him anyway. Is it all the bread I need? Oh, there's another one over here. Alright, bring it to the door. They will not starve, they will burn. So we have a voice coming from the west. Oh yeah. So down in the bottom left, you'll notice we got 26 marks and 4 medallions for taking out that boss, which was a side note, side boss. You won't always be able to do the side stuff. It can be a little tricky, depending on the difficulty setting and everything. A lieutenant has joined the forces. Alright. We have time to go click on this thing. No, that was just this completion. Never mind. It flashed, so I thought I was supposed to. Notice we also got more marks for making it to that checkpoint. So, you get marks throughout, and then you get marks at the end. Alright. Again, this was a defensive skirmish, so our objectives are to defend things here. It's different for all of them. Oh, we need to take this guy out. He'll res the dead. Alright, third assault's been defeated. Goylag now enters. I think this is the last boss. I just got another 32 marks down there in the bottom left in the chat window, you'll notice. By the way, this is why I turned my face off for this, so you guys can see the actual stuff as it pops up. Alright, so we got 52 more marks and a medallion. And we can say thank you very much, sir, and he will return us to wherever it was that we were when we first entered the instance, which in this case was the skirmish camp. So now we're back here, and we've been given some marks that we can go spend. Also, something I completely forgot to talk about, I just saw, we picked up some emblems and tokens during that fight, which we didn't use. That's sort of more of advanced stuff when you're getting into really hard fights with multiple people. The banners give you temporary buffs, which you definitely will want to use when you're doing like the more advanced skirmishes that get quite difficult. That one was really easy, but we also did it on tier 1 difficulty, so bear that in mind. So there you have it, everyone. That is the skirmish system in a nutshell. It's really easy to use. It started off as just a supplemental way to level your character, but now it's so much more than that because of all the different ways you can use your marks. You're going to get good XP when you run the instances. You get something quick and easy to do with your friends if you don't want to do a full dungeon or you're not going to do a raid and you don't want to go do an epic book quest. It's going to take 2 hours. You can run a 15 to 30 minute instance with a skirmish, earn some marks, spend those marks on crafting gear or cosmetics or whatever you want. It's a cool system. Love to hear your thoughts. Drop them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Join us in Discord, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Until then, stay safe and happy gaming, everybody.